Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are rebuilding the decks for the new expansion, Journey to Unguru. Let's click here to see the cards we got. Last time spent quite a bit of time doing the Rogue because we ended up rebuilding the Death Rattle, the Pirates, and the combo deck that I had before. Didn't really even add anything from the new expansion to the Rogue, just made some slight changes, and in making some slight changes I even decided to make some slight changes to the previous ones. Now we're going to do the Shaman, which right now the Shaman is on the new face of heroes. Let's see, how do you do this? Like this guy. And
storm, earth, and fire, heed my call.
I kind of want to, if I make two Shaman decks, I want to stick with Morgai the Oracle and then go back to that as far as the face too. So that'll be an interesting thing to see if I can pull that off. What do I have right now as a Shaman deck? This Overload deck. Okay, that makes sense because Overload is only available on Shaman. And so let's make a new Shaman deck. Here we are. And choose that. Stone, Earth, and Fire. We have not enough cards to play this, but it seems like it's just in adding some of the elemental things, or some of the things that have been called elementals. Been renamed elementals. That is an interesting idea. If there is going to be daily challenges to play elementals, that makes sense. The other thought is Murlocs, because we do have one card here to summon a 1/1 Murloc at the end of your turn, and totems. If they added a daily quest to do that, reduce the cost of elementals in your hand by 1. Summon 10 Murlocs. And get Megafin. So that's what we're gonna try to do. I'm gonna start with this elemental. Deal 3 damage, restore 4 health to your hero. So just to start with this, let's see.
Storm, earth, and fire. Heed my call. Storm, earth, and fire.
I'm gonna
heed my call.
Change the hero so that we have the old guy. And as far as neutral cards, I don't believe any totems in this at all. Like, all totem cards are going to be around this, and I could do my regular Overload deck, but right now I just need more Murlocs. So this is summon 4 1/1 Murlocs. Give your minions +2/+2. Cost less for each Murloc you control. Add 4 random Murlocs to your hand. Overload. Let's try this. Alright. Definitely want this one, definitely want this one, definitely want that one. And I've got 10 more. I can give a friendly Murloc +1/+1, seems good. Do I want charge? Definitely want those two. If we control a Murloc, discover some more Murlocs. Alright. Definitely want him. Definitely want those two. Adapt your Murlocs. There we go. Probably wouldn't want to keep this guy, but it'll be interesting if we can actually pull that off. So this is mostly just going to be focused around the quest, and see, that's what this is. We should try that first and see how Megafin works. Alright, so custom Shaman, play here. He is a wild deck, yeah. So we may end up with 2 Murloc decks as it is if this Megafin quest proves to be very, very useful. Otherwise, I may just get rid of the other Murloc deck I have,
For Doomhammer.
which is a possibility. But then there's still a little bit of changes I want to make. What would be interesting is I need to play a game in which I trade this away, and if I don't, I need to see what happens then. Because if you could trade away this and get a different card, that would be interesting. But I don't believe you can. Play this on the first turn. So, Megafin is a 5-mana 8/8 Murloc with a battle cry that fills your hand with random Murlocs. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if this works. And it wants me to summon 10 Murlocs. This will summon 4 of them right there. Taunt, restore 3 as an elemental. It's not a terrible thought. Alright. We do this. And then this. And then end the turn. And he decided not to kill the Murloc, which is going to prove to be his mistake. It's reduced the cost of elementals in my hand by 1. Interesting. That was a mistake. But whatever.
Calamos rises.
Every fin is awesome. Let's play this. See, and that should be more than 6, shouldn't it? No, it should be exactly 6. And then this. And then this. And that's quite the improvement there for a Murloc deck. Like, he won't even let me, he's not even gonna let me finish that. They see it coming so quickly. So my overload deck probably needs to get replaced, and then I need to consider if I want 2 Murloc decks, and I think I may just end up with 2 Murloc decks, a Shaman and a Paladin one, because there is some special abilities for the Paladin, and there's a reason to play the Paladin. I also, if I'm going to make this a Murloc deck, I should put the Knife Juggler in there too, because I still think that's worth doing. That was a nice 3-card combination that we played. We don't need the elementals in there, though.
For Doomhammer. For the Frost Wolves.
So, at the risk of screwing this up really bad, I'm going to return this card, this card, this card, and this card, and see what happens. Interesting. So did I just lose that quest forever? I think I may very well have lost the ability to play that quest. summons a 1/1 Murloc. And see, this gets cheaper every single time, doesn't it? Here's the quest. Back. Interesting. On my second turn. And do I want to do this now or do I want to wait?
I wonder.
I'm just gonna wait. Just wait and see what happens. There we go. This one won't hurt any of these Murlocs, unfortunately. Alright. This. And then this. This. And in the turn. It's odd that he has Lava Shock in his collection. Next turn, Volcano. Deal 15 damage randomly split. There we go. How many more do we need? 4.
Engaging TC-130 mental dislocator.
Let's see how this goes. I guess that works. Let's do this. So now we've got Mega Fin. So even if the opponent here decides to kill my characters, which I don't think he's gonna do. I think we still got a chance of winning here. Play this. And what do I do now? Do this. Turned it around. Even Murloc on Murloc violence here is not gonna stop this. Okay. We play this. We do this. We do this. And then what? Kill this. This. I want to play this card. Here. And adapt all the Murlocs. But he's gonna have to do something to let me kill one of them. That's fine. He's not even playing right. He should have played that first, if playing things through. Kill one of these. So, +1/+1 for all of them. You don't get to pick each. Interesting. Do I want to play any other cards here before we end? Because this player seems to be amenable to letting me continue. We just have the elemental cards. And see, I don't think we have anything else that's necessary, so let's go ahead and thank you.
I thank you.
And move on. So now we need to just come back here and adjust. This is just going to be a Shaman Murloc deck. So anything that's not Murloc needs to be eliminated. Then the question is, how many things do we have to get rid of? If yeah, I kind of don't want to do that. Quest, summon 10 Murlocs, Megafin, reduce elementals. Elemental. Summon 4 Murlocs. Adapt your Murlocs. I don't think that's worth having. Honestly, let's see. Deal 4 damage or restore 4 to your health. Nope. Let's see. Get rid of that. Volcano, split amongst all minions. No, we won't have it in that deck. And then we just now need to find the Knife Juggler, which I do want. And then Murlocs in here. Do we have any special cards? Like this would add 4 random Murlocs to your hand. Not very good. This is a 2/1 Murloc. This one has a taunt. It isn't a terrible idea to go with the one that has a taunt. It probably isn't a terrible idea to go with the ones that heal. Maybe even the ones that draw cards. Summon another Murloc, that's definitely useful. Charge. So I have one space remaining. Do I want one that would draw charge, one that would draw 2 cards, or one that would just be a 2/1? I think we'll split the middle and go with charge. And I think that works fine. Corrupted Seer, Old Murkai. Do I really want this totem that at the end of your turn gives you a 1/1 Murloc? I think I do. I think that works well with the Knife Juggler too. Alright. So, again, this is just for Murlocs. And let's see, 3 attack, and this one can actually do the quest too. And then like maybe 1 health if that is a daily quest that ever shows up. So we got several different things there that does. And that's the Shaman. Now the next thing we want to look at is the Overload deck with the Shaman, and we'll keep this one as, let's see, how many Overload things can we not play? Probably all the good ones, yes. Isn't that always the case? So the deal now with Overload is, are we going to make any real changes to this deck? This deck again is one of those decks that's just around the idea of playing Overload cards more than anything else. There's several. I think we do want Volcano in here, so we're gonna have to decide what we don't want in here then. Restore 6 health. Overload just because it's a 7/7, gain 1 to 4, attack at random. Well, let's think about that for a second. I guess that means I probably don't want this in there. How about a taunt Overload too? While we're at it, whenever you overload feral spirits, totems, there is that slight idea of if they ever made a daily challenge to play totems, that would kind of suck. But as it is now, we're fine. If anything, maybe get rid of the Dust Devil. But as the Shaman cards are the only cards with Overload as an ability, I could only replace the Dust Devil with, say, this, and a 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy, which actually isn't that big of a deal. So let's get rid of one of those and take that. Like, I really couldn't. I usually don't care who you attack as long as you attack somebody. And then maybe you could do Crackle, but it's a little random. 2 to 6 damage. It's still a good card, but how good is the question. And then when we go back and look at the Unguru expansion, the quest was the Murloc, and Elementals don't play that well into it. Was there something that we missed? Well, this is an Elemental, that would have made sense. This is a Death Rattle ability, of all things. That's an Elemental, and that's an Elemental, so no, nothing really missing. Alright, so that's Overload. Do I have any other Shaman cards that don't make sense? No, Overload deck is going to stay. And the Murloc quest deck is going to stay. Which means now, when I move forward into the Warlock deck, I'm going to have to either delete the Mech deck or the Demon deck. And almost certainly it's going to be the Mech deck. Because I need one more empty slot to make a new deck. I wish you just could have like almost an infinite number of these. It seems kind of ridiculous that just recently they made it so you could have 18, but before then you could only have 9, and you need more. You need more recipes that you could save and switch around. Alright, so Overload, where are you, Overload? Here you are. Play. didn't do a lot of changing to the Overload deck, but I figure I'll show them all off. Every time we get a new expansion like this, it's a great time to make a little bit of a change. It's also reprogramming my Hearthstone deck tracker program, which is over here, and that's why it says a 0 wins and 0 losses right now, is because I changed the deck. So it's a different version of the old deck, or if you make enough changes, it'll make a completely new one. Either way, it's not 100% accurate, but it does help track statistics that the game should track it themselves, honestly. Play this. Although I probably should have just waited till the next turn and then played this and this, but whatever. Now, ideally, I don't think a Warlock will be able to do it. It'd be cool if he could get 2 characters on the field so I could play this, but...
Extraordinary.
He's playing a discard deck, which is probably what I'm going to end up making. Let's see. We'll do this and save. Now the problem with drawing a card ever is it's going to have you run out of cards faster. And for a Warlock in particular, discarding cards and drawing more cards becomes an incredibly dangerous way to play, but that's the whole idea of playing as a Warlock, is dancing with the devil and trying not to get burned. It certainly worked for him because he was able to do 4 damage in the first turn. Now I have a mana crystal. Let's see. 2, 2, 2. This.
May your feet never prime.
Job done.
So, next turn I play this, and then I could play this if he's got something else. He's really powering up this demon. Alright. This. This. And this.
I can see what is to come.
Tide rises.
So now he's got to decide, does he want to attack my face, or does he want to try and kill one of these things and ensure his death?
I will enjoy watching you die.
This battle cry destroys one of your own mana crystals, so he's lower on mana crystals again. We do this. I could have actually done this first. That would have been a wiser move, but whatever. So I gotta attack with this one. So this is a nice comparison. You have the Warlock strategy of getting very powerful things at the cost of your life, or the cost of discarding cards or sacrificing something, versus the overcharge policy where you lock some of your mana for the next turn, but as long as you have the 2 cards in particular that unlock your locked cards, you can actually counter that cost and be rather efficient. And then as long as you have the 2 cards that benefit from when you overload, you can even profit from it. And so I'm down to 0 cards, he has 1 card, and We're not exactly sure how all this is gonna go. This one would do 16 damage randomly split between all the minions. Here's the deal. 2, 4, 6, 7. Plus that would be 14. It would be insane to make this a 4. But we're going to try and see if we can do it. Our goal is to kill this and all of these and not hit this. And this is split amongst all minions. And I failed. That's the oops. He's got 3 damage to his hero. Let's see. So if he drew a card and he got down to 3, then I could attack next turn. But that's probably not going to happen. And then he's going to do 11 and win. So I think that's a pretty well played turn of events here. It was close. That was a tough one. I don't think many people would have survived against that draw of demon cards. That certainly worked a lot better than most of the times I've played demon cards. Let's go back and look at the overload cards and see if it satisfies any other quest, though. Kind of one attack and spells. So I'm also going to put here spells, because if you have a quest to play spells, you might want to play this. And then one attack, because if there's a daily challenge, daily quest to do that it too is going to work. A little bit helpful. But mostly it's just focused towards overload. And that's like Death Rattle here. I don't think it probably isn't even that good for one attack characters, and then combos I bet is not that good for one attack characters either. Whether I need to go back and look at what the daily quests are. And we haven't even done weapons, so I have no reason to be clicking on that one. This custom paladin is probably needs to get erased. Let's see, because this one in particular has no reason to exist. Yeah, it needs to go away right now. And these are all new things. Almost all the decks we've made have been wild, and it's probably going to be the case. I stay pretty close to wild decks. I don't want to play. I want to play with all the cards, and I do have enough of the entire collection for that to make sense. Whereas if you're a new player, definitely play in standard, because you're just not going to have the cards. Well, next time we will make our own Warlock decks, and that will be interesting to find out what we can do with that. We'll probably get rid of this mech deck and just have a demon deck and nothing else. Stay tuned if you're watching on live. Otherwise, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.